I would just like to point out that all of the characters and writings are property of the prospective owners and the people who created them. I own none of the content that is currently being created. Please support the official release of all such products. Thank you for listening. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Volume 1, Chapter 11. This is bad. I'll rather die than bow to you. They wouldn't go with the simultaneous no reaction like that, right? If so, it'd be an all-out war. There's so many, but they won't win. Even if we're unscathed, we would lose. We have no injured goblins for now. We won't lose, but if possible, I don't want any disputes. Just now, the noise of dispute was like the quietness of a lie. The fanged wolves focused their gaze at me, and the me that was their focus is carefully walking. I don't know what their reaction would be, but more than their boss's death, they want their strengths to be recognized. The Fanged Wolf clan finally reached the corpse of their boss. I, not a person who hindrances others. Besides, the boss is an abstaining individual, but stepped back. I used predation on the wolves, because this act is a justifiable right for the winner. Analysis has been finished. Mimicry, Fanged Wolf has been acquired. Native skills, super olification, thought transmission, coercion have been acquired. The sound of the great sage ring in my heart. They witnessed their boss being eaten, but there's still no movements. Ugh. Now that it came to this, they have no choice. Run while freaking out, or face their fears, but... Did I say death or submission? Shit. I rode the high horse and acted rash. No choice. I'll prepare them an escape route. While thinking that, I mimicked the fanged wolf. Then... Grrrr! I howled in a loud noise and used coercion. Hear me. This time I'll let you go according to my words. Immediately leave this place, I declared to the fanged wolves. With this, these dogs should have run, is what I thought. But, we and all us present will obey you, they all said while falling to prostrate. I can only see dogs lying flat, though. It seems like they chose to follow me, and them, not moving, seems like they used thought transmission. Did they have a meeting? With this, the fight of the goblin village came to an end. Psych. What the disaster was, what came after the fight, the cleaning. Who the hell ordered the house to be destroyed? How should I feel about it? Now then, what should we do about the goblin's bed? And who the heck will care for all the dogs? Many died, but there were still 80 that managed to survive. This is in any case. The day is done. I'll just think about it tomorrow when these guys are awake. Before I rest by the goblin's bonfire, I ordered the dogs to stay alert on the vicinity of the village and parted ways at that place. It's now the next morning. Yesterday I thought up the number one solution. Then what came upon me was making the goblin handle the care of the Fanged Wolf plan. The goblins that can fight were 74. There were no injured persons in the fight yesterday. Everyone was safe. At most there were only scratches. The remaining dogs were 81. There were some wounded, but were immediately treated. Even if you leave it alone, it would be alright it seems. That was how high the recovery power of the wolves are. I made the goblins that woke up form a line. The ones who can't fight just gazed around, for you see, there are no houses in the plots. It can't be helped to stand out. The head goblin was refraining beside me. He seems to be looking after me, but getting looked out by the old man of the goblins doesn't make me happy. My aesthetic sense seems to be alive. Even though I've been reincarnated as a demon, I will not yield that point. However, there were no such cute things in the village. I can't give that up yet. The aligned goblin horizontal to the wolves that I called. Now then, you lot. From now on, you lot will become a pair and have you spend time together. I wait their reaction. They give me a look of waiting for further instructions. I feel like they wouldn't let one sound out while they look at me. There doesn't seem to be any disagreeable behavior in becoming a pair. It seems okay. Do you know what it means? For the meantime, form a group of 2 people. The moment I said that, the goblin and wolf sit beside each other like companions, exchanging looks. And then, nice to meet you. Me too, is what I felt from the pairs. The enemy of yesterday is a friend today is somewhat wrong, but mainly that's agreeable, I guess. With that, I remembered something. These guys have no name, I thought. Calling them would be really inconvenient. I made a sidelong glance to the goblin and wolf pairs. Head goblin, it's inconvenient to call you. Is it okay if I gave you names? The moment I said that, phew, went the focus of the pairs around me. I looked around and even the civilian goblins too were looking. Is it okay? The head asked timidly. What? Why are they so excited? Yeah, if it's no problem, I'm thinking of giving names. As soon as I finished speaking, the goblins that were looking swallowed their saliva and shouted for joy. What the heck is wrong? For some reason, it was a great excitement, suggested by the state, but They could have given themselves names if they were so happy in receiving one. At that moment, I pondered, carefree. Let's start first with the head. I asked what he named his son, and it seems like he gave him the name Rieger. For the head goblin, Rigurdo is what I named. There was no meaning for the name, I just named him adequately. If his son was here, I would call him Rieger, and he will add the dough himself. If I said that joke, he would be deadly serious. Furthermore,
To even succeed the name I gave my son, I can't endure the tears of gratitude,
said the goblin, who was excessively happy. I only gave him an unserious name, so I somewhat have a feeling of guilt, but oh well, and made it drift away. With that, the goblin leader's name would be Rieger. Adding Junior would be a pain in the ass, so I'll settle with Rieger. And somehow they're in praying posture while in deep emotion. They really are exaggerated, are really alike a parent and child, and so I gave names the goblins with that sense. Next, I'll have to decide what to give the sightseeing ones, parent and child. I also gave names for the unmarried goblin women, and the orphans. These guys, they'll give this name to their children too. If a grandchild was born, then the head will be Rieger Dodo. If a great-grandchild was born, it would be Rieger, and then it will be Rieger Dodo. Seriously? As for the said irresponsibleness, well, whatever. With this, I gave names. That was me,
Rimuru-sama, we're really thankful, but is it really all right?
asked the somewhat panicking head, which his past name Rigurdo. Why isn't it alright?
No, does Rimuru-sama, that his magic power is really big, so granting titles, is it really okay?
What is he saying? What's wrong in just giving a name? Well, there doesn't seem to be any problem, I guess. After saying that, I started giving names again. If it and such, Rigurdo was saying something, but I didn't give him any attention. Then the naming of the goblins was done. Next was the wolves. The wolves' new leader was the previous boss's son. He looks just like his father with a strong build. They also have the same personality. While looking at those blood-stained eyes, I try to come up with a name. That's it! Tempest Fang is Ranga. Let's go with this. I really give cheap names, huh? My family name is Tempest, so that Fang will Tempest Fang. We'll give names will be good even if it's vague. I don't have a last year since. At that moment, I felt the magic power inside me being sucked out from the inside of my body. A violent despondency attacked me. What is this? I've never felt this tired feeling ever since I was born. Revelation. Your demon essence remaining quantity limit has been disturbed, switching over to low activity mode. Furthermore, a restoration predicted time would be 3 days. I'm unconscious. I don't need sleep, so I can even hear the great sage's voice, and slowly the comprehension arrived in my mind. What? I used too much demon essence? So it's like using too much MP, huh? However, what did I do to expend so much demon essence? Like, what have I been using with no rest? Or rather, I haven't felt anything like that. Even if I want to move my body, I can't. Lowered activity state is like hibernation, but it's not sleeping. Rigurdo, while greatly panicking, nurses my body. Extremely, I can't do anything. I was only sitting on top of the seat beside the bonfire, but I was awareness but can't move. Taking in the consideration of this phenomenon I just watched, if I gave names, then it'll start scraping my demon essence, right? I only gave names and consumed demon essence. Come to think of it, the moment I gave the Fanged Wolf Leader a name, a large portion of my demon essence came out. It's only my assumption, but to give monsters names, I wouldn't consume demon essence, right? It took 2 days to come up with that conclusion. Thinking about it, I arrived at the reason why Rigurdo was worried. Wait, is this possible common sense for monsters or something? Speak up! I never did consider it, but what poured was me. If I complained, it would be an outburst. However, if I can move my body, I would complain, I guess. Outburst? I don't know what kind of a thing. But, at the beginning about the goblins that were worried because I stopped moving, somehow, the goblin that was drawing me that went around and caused a fierce fight. What do I do? 'Cause this is no joke. I want them to spare me from this harem. I was treated like an ornament that has a blessing and stroked. Then, 3 days progressed. A complete recovery! I started to run dry with demon essence, but after getting knocked down by it, my magic power and demon essence feels like the aggregate amount increased. Magic power is the power to operate, while demon essence is the amount of energy being utilized. With that knowledge, I somehow grasp it, I think. What doesn't kill you makes you strong. Feels like that's right. Shall we try it for a moment? Is what I thought, but I'll stop, because I don't feel the need to use it. And if I play with death and then die, it wouldn't be a joke. For you see, I'm a man who crossed the line. If you lower your guard, you'll lose, is what I am. Now then, now that they've noticed that I was awake, the goblins that were working immediately gathered. Even the fanged wolves that were outside entered. That's all good, but what the heck is this? You guys, did you grow? Yep, the length of which was 150 centimeter goblins. However, they are now 180 centimeters, it seems. The guy in front of me seems to cross over 2 meters. Eh? You're a goblin, right? Even the fanged wolves, that were olive brown fur, changed to jet black, and give a feeling of bewitching gloss and a glossy finish. Furthermore, their length is nearly 3 meters. I'm sure they should have been at most 2 meters. The individual who was walking head-on was giving off a strange aura and personality that wafts the air, and the length was near enough to 5 meters. A little bit scary. On top of that,
My master, I'm deeply happy to be of your service in your recovery,
said Ranga, similar to the language that I use, and furthermore, he's fluent while talking with it. Certainly this is not Ranga, right? What the heck happened during those 3 days? While perplexed of the other matters, the monster started letting out war cries. Status? Name: Rimuru Tempest. Race: Slime. Divine Protection: Crest of Storm. Title: None. Magic: None. Skills: Unique skill: Sage Master. Unique skill: Predator. Slime specific kills. Dissolution, Absorption, Self-Replication. Extra skill: Water Manipulation. Extra skill: Magic Perception. Acquired skill: Black Snake, Heat Perception, Poison Breath. Centipede, Paralysis Breath. Spider, Sticky Web, Metal Web. Bat, Ultrasonic Wave. Lizard, Body Armor. Fanged Wolf, Superior Olfaction. Thought Transmission, Coercion. Resistance, Resistance to Temperature Fluctuation. Resistance to Physical Attack. Immunity to Pain. Resistance to Current. Resistant to Paralysis. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Volume 1, Chapter 12. Let's prepare our environment. Ugh. These past 3 days the monsters really grew. Shocking. This is that evolution called thing. I just gave names. Does this act prompt evolution? Come to think of it, Velodora said something about giving names and such, but something about nameless and named monsters. That's it. For monsters, attaining names equals named monsters, it means. That's like increasing the status for a monster. As a result, they evolve. Huh. I see. Is that why it's a great joy? So this is also the reason why my demon essence was completely sucked out. This explains it. The monster's evolution is so intense, this is no longer growing. It's better to call it a different monster. The goblin's dull eyes are sparkling, giving off a light of intelligence. The female goblin's extremely became women-ish in itself. It was so surprising that my voice won't come out. Eh? Eh? It took 2 looks to absorb the change. They were now close to a monkey, from looking like a child of a demon. The male goblins became hobgoblins, and the female goblins became goblinas. Each evolved. When I asked Rigurdo, he now hears the world language, it seems. This evolution thing makes you hear everything, I presume. It's really rare, said by the excited Rigurdo while talking. However, the unusualness is unpleasant. About the saggy rag cloth that covered the whole female goblin, because of the evolution, parts that go out has parts coming out-ish. They're no longer female gob, but I can't make a fool out of them. Because looking at the male, they're happy about the casualness, but they're only enveloped in a loincloth. First will be the necessities, and I need to do something about the clothes. This is a different problem. The main one is Ranga. The one who was very happy after I recovered is now following me around. I can't get enough of liking the softness, but if I had to say then, I am a cat person. Well, I don't hate them though. Well then, Ranga, I only gave a name for you. Why are all the Fang Wolves evolved? Yep, at the point where I gave a name to Ranga, it triggered a piece of demon essence, but...
My master, my comrade, Fanged Wolf Clan is all for one. Therefore, my title became the clan's title.
Phew, phew, phew. A title being shared, making the whole clan evolve, huh? For him, the previous boss did not believe in all for one. If you believed, then maybe the form of fight might change just a little bit. In regards to that, Ranga seems to have accomplished a complete rule over his brethren, and due to changing Fanged Wolf Clan to Storm Fanged Wolf Clan, the clan evolution was a success. Well, in short, they became strong. They seemed to be waiting for some praise, so... Good for you! After I said that, they all started to wag their tails. A 5-meter monster like wolf wagging its tail will blow you off with the wind pressure. Taking it in consideration, the downhearted was able to laugh. However, the problem was, where will I keep these guys? I had the wolves and the hobgoblins become pairs so that they'll lodge together, but, or rather, there are still no houses, so we can have the warmth of the wolves as exchange for a futon. The cloth is also a problem, but they're still at a house. Now then, what to do? I saw a pile of food like a mountain in front of me. Necessities as a response to my question of the food situation that I confirmed. This was the answer. After I used my demon essence, it seems like everyone's evolution started. The evolution finished in one day, and the joy after the war banquet? Let's all celebrate it, I thought. However, Since my recovery isn't finished, they didn't finish getting permission prior to it. They gathered all the ingredients. Amidst the generating of demon essence, although I know the struggle to dry my body, the evolution and gathering of food didn't caught my attention. In lower activity, I'm usually defenseless. From now on, I'll need to be more careful. But being able to wait for my orders, this is praiseworthy. More than the evolution, their intelligence seems to have risen. Maybe more than their body, their spirit might have had more effect. Before the evolution, their previous goblin, they gathered fruit and edible grass and hunt edible monsters and creatures, but they seem to be living amongst them now. Currently, thanks to the coordination with the Stormfang Wolf Clan, their habitat has remarkably widened. The shocking thing was, now that they've become a pair, it appears that they can now use thought transmission. Rather than horse riding, they are superior driver goblins of the wolf. This can no longer be said as a simple addition in war power. Until now, the prevailing monsters in a state that can now simply hunt. These past 2 days, they managed to produce this much food. However, there will be a problem if something happened on the Forest of Blessing they're depending. Someday I'll teach farming and rice cultivation, but the stability of food supply is the most basic, the appropriate crop of farming, and I need to research this if they can breed rice plants. That's the assignment from now on. Today I won't think about anything and have fun in the banquet. In that day, they celebrated the evolution, the end of the war, my recovery. The banquet continued until at a late hour. The next day I had them gather all the needed things. Hereafter the assignment is lying in piles, but I needed to tell them the most important matter. That is the rules in order to live in this village. This things needed to be determined at the very first. Community life needs a rule after all, a natural sense for a Japanese. A rule is something that protects, not something to protect. Suggested by the adults, but mainly me. But that thing is useless. I'll think up the 3 main rules. Even if these 3 are the least, but I want to protect it, and I'll leave the other rules to somebody else. Are they all gathered? Well then, I'll announce the rules. There are 3 rules. I want to protect these 3 rules, is what I called out, and announced the 3 rules. 1. Do not attack humans. 2. Do not attack your own. 3. Do not look down on others. That was the 3 rules. If I think more, additional rules will be added, but I don't think about protecting from the start. For me, I gathered all important. Now then, how will they react? Is it okay? Why must we not attack a human? Rigurd asked. Rigurdo was glaring at his son with a furious facial expression. Did my anti-behavior project? Should be better if they became close to me carefree. It's simple. It's because I like humans, that's all. I see, I understand, Rigurdo. Eh? What? Understand? No, that's simple. But even if I look at everyone's face, it feels like there are no one other that bears discontent. I thought there would be a rebuttal. What a letdown. Human forms a group in their daily lives. If you stretch out to them, there's a case where there's backlash. You won't stand a chance if they come at you seriously. Therefore, our meddling with them is banned. And also, it's better to get along with them. I had no choice so. I expressed a public position that I had prepared. Needless to say, I like humans. Is my real motive. Anyhow, I was previously human. With my explanation, Ranga deeply bowed his head. For some reason, it seems going well with what I've thought. For him, he has an unfavorable reason not to interfere with humans. Are there others? About not looking down on other races? Nope. You lot evolved and got stronger, right? Don't get on a high horse and act all high and mighty against a weak race is what I mean. Even if we say that you lot got a little bit strong, doesn't mean that you'll get disillusioned to act high and mighty. One day your enemy will get strong, and just evolve is boring, right? Everyone listened with enthusiasm. It seems fine. In the end, even if I warn them, there will be some that won't listen. Even so, decreasing much trouble would be better. Sort of like that. Protect these rules as much as possible. With that said, I established the village's new rules. However, these rules, a single disaster would be born from these rules. Certainly I don't have the means to notice it now. After all, I don't have a godlike being power to predict. Everyone nodded, and showed their feeling of acknowledgement. But this opened the curtain of a new cohabitation. Now then, it's the other rules formation of role shaping. The person who will look out the village perimeter, a team to do the food supply, a team to gather the raw materials for production, and the people that will maintain the houses and tools alike. For the village lookout, it must be a Stormfang Wolf Clan that is able to use thought transmission. The pairs left were 7 in all, but since Ranga is clinging to me, all that's left was 6 to guard. I'll leave the more sensitive assignment to the previous head, Rigurdo. Rigurdo, I'm assobbing you as the Goblin Lord, skillfully govern the village. To put things frankly, I'm giving him all the work. That's one way of throwing your feelings with all you've got, but I want to think about it. I was a general contractor service when I was alive. Ruling and the likes is impossible for me. Above all, if I get tied to this village and as a result will not make it in a human village, it'll be a problem. A somewhat forceful act wouldn't go right, is what I thought, but... Hurrah! I, Rigurdo, shall accept this duty and bet my life on it. As he gets choked by tears of gratitude, he immediately accepted the duty. Yeah, basically I don't want to be a mouth-only bancho. meaning delinquent leader. Even if I'm reigning, I will not rule, I think is a really good proverb, at the same time is only ordering. However, this Rigurdo, this unsteady and wrinkled, was a goblin ready to sacrifice his life, but, until now, has the robust muscular body a hobgob, still in his prime of life? If careless, would his son Rigger be strong? What in the world, I wonder? Truly the monsters are a mystery. Ooh, I trust your words, then I see you're building houses, but you suck. Honestly, it doesn't even deserve to be called a house.
What an embarrassing topic it is. We didn't need a tall building, so...
Ooh. Well, you've gotten bigger. Also, about the clothes, the exposure is too severe. Can't you procure something better?
Until now, several deals have been made with certain people from those. I know that they've been procuring clothes, and also they're skillful people, so they also know how to build houses.
Whew. I was also in the general contractor service, so I also know the sustainability, but I am at a DIY level. There's also a limit to my guidance. It's not like I have a technology. Therefore, someone will come, a business partner that can maybe be a guide, but doing it is not so bad too. I see. Doing it doesn't seem bad. So why did you make a deal for money?
No, there is somewhat adventurous personnel belonging stripped, but let us leave it at that. More than money, we are receiving food by doing barter and odd jobs. Our tools were prepared by those people.
Hmm. Well, what kind of people are they?
They're the dwarf clan.
Dwarf? The image of an expert blacksmith, the famous clan. We have no choice but to go. In the first place, clothes that catch air, putting that off these guys' armor is a little awful. Armor has a great difference with an old rag, but for now, as the size doesn't match, it won't fit anyone. Improvements everywhere is also possible, but there's nothing is left from the equipment plundered from the adventurers, and there's a small amount of money. What should be a good deal? It's pointless to think about it now. Alright, let's go, Rigurdo. Can I leave to you the preparations?
Leave it to me! I'll have the preparations ready today at midday!
Rigurdo ended in a large tension. I'll leave this to you. You'll prepare what's left of the money? This world's money, huh? If it's paper, then it'll be a big laugh. Thinking about it, I myself hadn't seen it. If I'm going to a human town, then I'll have to research this whole world's money merit. Well, let's leave it after I meet the dwarves. This place has been clattering, so I'll sightsee after I meet a carefree dwarf, and someday go to a human village. They're worse sub-race, but the dwarfs seem to live in a pretty big town, so it seems. There's also a king dwarf, but as expected, they wouldn't meet the goblin, right? Extremely. Entering the village is something to behold. In comparison with the goblin discrimination and such, will they be fine? I am a slime monster, but I won't be surprised and such, right? Although I have various uneasiness, but I'm greatly expecting from the dwarf. It seems a long time since I've been this thrilled. This is technically the end. I'm going to stop reading the stats out until something new is added to them. My apologies.